hello and welcome to another episode of AHA Biz, our daily 30-minute briefings on leading edge insights and practices that altogether form the emerging shape of our new normal. We're rounding up actionable best practices from business leaders to help you level up the way you take care of your people, your customers, and your partners as demanded by this business unusual times. My name is Mina and I will be facilitating today's open discussion with Dandy and Jeannie. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay, so reminder, please pin the Ignite 100 account to your screens for optimal viewing. Just a bit of a disclaimer, some of the business leaders we interview are speak based from their own personal experiences. So we will have to preserve their company's anonymity. But don't worry, because at the end of the day, what really matters are the learnings that we can take away from their experiences. Also with us is Andre. Hi, Andre.
I'm no longer the resident bulldog.
We're still coming up with a new name for you.
Name for you.
I would rather be introduced as the resident bulldog rather than some no-name Andre. Anyway,
Okay, so all right, so let's start the ball rolling. Chini, take it away.
Okay, so my AHA hero is a country representative of Zund. So that's Z-U with the smiley face U N and B. So Zund is a Swiss family-owned company that manufactures industrial-grade digital cutting machines. So their solutions are essential to manufacturing in industries like graphics, packaging, leather, textile, aerospace, you name it. So they're in the business of cutting different materials for various purposes, and that's a very specific business to be in. So the COVID context here is their lifeblood used to be selling these machines and in their after sales. But now that business as they knew it has stopped, how can they stay relevant with their existing capabilities? What can they cut today that's relevant? And how can they stay true to the core of their business to help others? This brings me to my AHA number one. So Zune partnered up with one of their end consumers in the graphics industry to produce aerosol boxes as their initiative to do their part in the fight against COVID-19. So if you don't know what these are, I would like to share with you my screen. Here. Okay, so these aerosol boxes are used to protect, doctors from germs, viruses from COVID patients. So they found that by finding that shared mission with their customer, they actually transcended the client-customer relationship and became partners of the business. So that's my AHA number one.
good.
Okay,
Keep going.
So my AHA number two is perhaps another take on value as usual, because Zune rethought their value proposition to their stakeholders. So on normal businesses, they're usually limited to the existing design of their customer touchpoints. So from customers buying the product, they go into after sales, and they just focus on really doing those things well. My AHA hero looks beyond the transactional and sees his end consumers as partners. So rethinking how he can service customers in this time of crisis, he now helps his end consumers diversify their businesses and think out of the box, outside the core of their business to stay relevant. So using Zun's recommendations, one of their clients in Laguna actually shifted from producing Kevlar suits to producing PPEs in a span of 1 week. And knowing that there will be a mass testing for COVID and a heightened demand for beds, this country representative, Joseph De La Rosa, actually proposed to his end consumers to prepare to meet the demand. So he provided the digital files for his consumers, files that they would need in order to produce these beds, so that by the time DOH taps his end consumers, they're ready. The beauty of this is that his recommendations also maximize the cutting equipment that he sold to them to continue businesses for his consumers. So his value to customers escalated from just sales and maintenance of customers' cutting machines to becoming their consultants for being agile in times of crisis. So the way he's taking care of customers and maintaining relationships will probably last a long time even after the lockdown. So you can probably see how stakeholders would put their trust in him and ultimately in Zun. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
What's your score, Andre?
Can I withhold judgment until later?
Okay.
Please, yeah.
So from taking care of your customers to taking care of your people, now we move on to Dandy. Dandy?
Okay, so my AHA hero for today is the head of digital solutions group for a telco company. She handles all Wi-Fi related services like providing Wi-Fi in malls, events, schools, and other establishments. She also is in charge of digital solutions for enterprises and national and local governments. So those text messages that you see from NDRMC, your local PIO, so she's responsible for those. So what's their COVID context? As we all know, internet Wi-Fi is on high demand right now. And one of their key focus areas right now is providing free Wi-Fi access to hospitals, supermarkets, quarantine sites for patients, and dormitories for the frontliners. They're also working closely now with LGUs, providing them with their digital needs like SMS blasts, load allocations, especially since they need to be in constant communication with their constituents. On the business side, what they're doing right now is refocusing on the products that are badly needed. For example, they help BPOs in setting up work from home by providing home internet, providing them timely load allowance to employees, etc. So what's my AHA number one? Number one is maximizing capabilities to take care of people. So right now, one of their major concerns, similar to other companies, is really the physical and mental health of their employees. Aside from the daily cadence of team leaders with their teams and providing seminars for self-care, one of the things that the company did to monitor the physical and mental health of its people is to develop an exclusive app or chatbot that checks in every day with all the employees of the company, asking how they're feeling, which employees can reply to with "I'm good" or "I'm unwell." And then the chatbot will probe deeper if you have symptoms of physical or mental health issues. So this is just one of the ways in which they really harness their own capabilities, not just for business, but also for taking care of their people, them being a tech company.
I hope the chat box as you're chatting with the chatbot leads to some actual human being if it comes to that, to a point where in the conversations where the person looks like they need help.
Yes, eventually. Once the chatbot probes into the problem, and then they will be directed to their partner companies for further assistance.
Good.
Okay. So my AHA number two is breaking silos. The company is proud of being a silo-less organization ever since, but now that the business is upended and they need to always act fast to address the needs of their customers and extend their help to those in need of digital services, the silo-lessness has proven to be one of their core strengths. Regardless of what department they belong to, everyone is willing to help each other and share necessary information, which, as we know, doesn't hold true for a lot of companies. For instance, my AHA hero has an initiative to provide free Wi-Fi. So what she does is she reaches out to the enterprise group to see who else needs free Wi-Fi in terms of small and medium enterprises. In the words of my AHA hero, ikaw na lang mahihiya pag hindi ka tumulong. So that's the culture that's really being magnified right now during the time of crisis. Everyone's rolling up their sleeves to pitch in, cross-collaborating across business units in the service of their customers, whether it's for charity or for moving the business forward. Because right now, as they're strategizing which products to focus on, now more than ever, they need each other's information. And this silo-lessness is something that shines through during these times of crisis for them.
Good. Again, you can't be. Well, this is the we're looking for actionable insights here, right? But the good news is they are able to stay relevant and provide value as usual in this time of crisis. The bad news is unless that's really who you are and that's really in keeping with your DNA, you can't suddenly become that because of the crisis,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So very good.
But
Okay.
this is something that other companies should really look into. I mean, what are the kinds of values that they hold true for their company? And as you proposed few episodes before, maybe it's time for companies to rethink their VMV. So probably this will help them, okay, see which values really should be should we be upholding during and post COVID.
I think you just zeroed in on something gold there, Dandy, in that, yes, this is really the whole situation because it has challenged so much of what we hold as life as usual, as business as usual, as values as usual. It has challenged all of that, and I would think disrupted all of that. That if you're a leader, and I wonder if how we can use future AHA Biz episodes to dig into this deeper. What are the ways in which it is really high time to use this environment and use this inflection point in the history of humanity and the history of business for organizations and their business leaders to re-examine their vision, mission, and values. If not, on one hand, to rewrite it, then on the other hand, it might be to re-emphasize it and bring it to better emphasis and better operationalization. Because I think one of the great ahas that we are experiencing today, and I see it in episode after episode of a lot of good news that you are sharing with us in AHA Biz, is you can't be who you are not in a crisis like this. In other words, your values as a team, as a company, really come true in times like this. No? So
We will never be the same as people and as companies.
right. And therefore, when it's peacetime again, or as we come closer to being peacetime, in what ways must we re-examine our vision, mission, and values, which is the very core expression of who we are? So I'd love to see more of those topics going forward. All right.
Okay.
Okay,
So yes, go ahead.
okay, to wrap up this conversation, we want to come up with our top 3 words or takeaways that sum up what we have learned from today's stories. Anyone who wants to start throwing in their keywords, Chini?
I would think transcend.
Okay.
Okay.
Mine would be rethink. Tandy?
That's deeper than rethink. It's really re-examine your identity as a company, driven by your mission and really your stakeholders and what it means, what your company means to your consumers and your stakeholders.
For me, it's you can't be who you're not. You can only be who you are. So this is a good clarion call for organizations, for teams, for their leaders to decide who do you want to be, and that should be expressed in your vision, mission, and values.
What's
Okay.
your final score, Andre?
So for Chini, I would give it a 3.5, and for Dandy, a 4.5.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you guys for watching this
Yes.
episode. Tune in again tomorrow for your daily dose of leading edge insights and practices that shape our business unusual in this new normal.
So-
By the way, we also
yeah.
have other upcoming webcasts, the dates for which you can see on our screen. Thank you again, and this has been AHA Biz.
So that's 18 minutes, huh? Not bad. Actually, 16 since we started late.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.